Hello, Boujou. So I am washing everything by hand in this video today because my dishwasher broke, and it reminded me of growing up with no dishwasher because I grew up my entire life with no dishwasher. Well, technically, like not a machine dishwasher, but I did have like people dishwashers. My siblings, because I was the youngest of 8 siblings, so there was like 7 ahead of me that could do the dishes. 7 siblings, 7 days a week. I was just a freeloader. That's all, basically. So I am Anishinaabe, in other terms, First Nations or Native American. But anyway, growing up in Anishinaabe, we had a lot of stories and beliefs, as well as urban legends. And one of those beliefs is that you do not go to bed with food out or a messy kitchen because you might invite souls or negative spirits. And literally, when I have expressed that to non-Indigenous people, right away they start to believe that their house is going to turn into the fucking Conjuring. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I've ever heard that ever really happening just because of that. You know what I'm saying? What we actually believe happens is that there will be a string of bad luck and a series of misfortunes that affect multiple parts of your life. So, there's not going to be a little evil possession over your house or your body. You're not going to get fucking tossed around by an evil spirit just because you left food out all night. No, that doesn't happen. I don't think I've ever heard that ever happening. And if anybody out there is telling you that's what happens, they're lying to you and they're messing with you, and tell them to fuck off. But anyway, this is coming from personal experience, but I'm going to share the knowledge anyhow. Especially for those who are in the contemplation stages of change. This is really important for you. So basically, this one issue that I was struggling with uncovered a bunch of other issues that I didn't realize that I was struggling with. So I would have these reoccurring nightmares. And when I would have these reoccurring nightmares, that would cause me to grind my teeth and clench my jaw. I would wake up 2 or 3 times a night in pain. So the next day, I'd wake up still tired and not refreshed. I would come into my kitchen and it would be messy, and then I would spiral. And these spirals would cause a lot of friction in my household, and it was just unhealthy, and I recognized that. So basically, I did everything I needed to do. I went to the doctor, I went to the dentist, I saw a specialist, and the only thing that they could tell me was that I needed a mouth guard. So all of that, I decided that I was going to go see an elder. And when I went and seen the elder, I told her all about my scary ass dreams, and right off the bat, one of the first things she says to me is, "Are you going to bed with a messy kitchen, or are you leaving food out?" And I obviously couldn't lie about it, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and I was gonna be truthful. But anyway, she gave me a really strong lecture and reminded me of how I was raised. And after that moment, I said, okay, I am going to change. I'm going to make sure that I clean up my house, or at least do the dishes before I go to bed. And the day that I decided that, my dishwasher broke. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but to someone who is working on their addictions, to someone who is leaving a relationship, to someone who is experiencing a loss, something as little as that can be a major setback. And I always tell my people to make a plan for that setback, that slowdown, and that stop. Not because we're manifesting it, but because when we are going through changes in our lives that are positive, there's always going to be a set of challenges that presents itself during those times. And the reason these setbacks happen isn't over a moral failing. It's because we aren't fully prepared for the changes that are happening. Now, a lot of the times we believe that when we are changing, all we have to do is think about the changes that we want to make. But the truth is that we have to factor in the what ifs and really play around with the scenarios, because then we better prepare ourselves for those, say, scenarios if they happen. And you're less likely to have setbacks or fallbacks or stops in that case. But that is all I have to say right now. I gotta go, and I will catch you in the next one, okay? Bye-bye.